friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for another Pick a Sign video in my Pick a Sign series where I have 111 signs that you know the universe is communicating to you, or your higher self is letting you know that something you've been desiring for so long is on its way. So I've tracked these signs for the last 12 years. Ever since my daughter passed away was the beginning of me starting to see signs, and hearts were my signs from her. And then they kind of evolved and expanded. And then in like 2017, I started seeing angel numbers, and I was like, what does all of this mean? And that's when my deep dive and my search began. And now I'm here sharing my experience and sharing all the magic with all of you who are newly on the journey. And you're in that spot that I was in going, what does this mean? Who is this higher power trying to talk to me? Or what is it trying to say? And I think I might create a course all about signs on just how to decipher them, because it can be really hard, especially when you're really needing money in your life, when you're really wanting to understand what your mission is and your purpose, and you feel like you're getting all of these signs, but yet nothing is changing. So I like to coach people in this area to let them know, like, hey, 1 week this sign might mean this, but then the following week it might mean something different. And you have to be the one to determine the language and kind of interpret it. So I am creating these videos because each sign that I pick, I elaborate on, and I give you my take on how it's worked in my life and how it might be working in your life. So let's get started. We are going to pick the first one. Okay, 41, restlessness. Okay, so on our journey, it's a purification. I always talk about that on my channel. When you're calling something in, if you're calling in $10,000, $50,000, a new job, a new person, your body, if it's not here yet, it means you're not a match to it, right? So the person that has that amount of money, or the person that has that partner, you then have to transform and become a match to that vibration. And you might not know that you're not a match, right? You might not even know what that frequency feels like. And a lot of my one-on-one clients and my mentorship clients and in my group coaching program, they think they know what their pure joy is, but they haven't even reached another level yet. And they don't even know that the level of joy that they're talking about in their life is like down here. And when you purify the nervous system and you start to release all the traumas and the limiting beliefs that are blocking you from receiving that money or that person, all of a sudden you start to rise up and you're like, holy cow, I didn't know this level of happiness existed. You know, I thought I was happy, but maybe I didn't see it. I couldn't see how life could be better. And you think that the money or the person is going to bring you that better feeling, but it's not. It's within you. It's source energy that you have to somehow tap into inside of you and pull it out of you. And when you pull it out of you, now you're on the dance floor with the universe and you're dancing and you're singing and you're like, oh my God, life is so great. And you just start manifesting everything into your reality because you changed first. So my job in these videos is to help you, is to activate you to change, to do something different, to start to be that person that has that thing. And in this process, that energy gets heightened, right? So our first sign is all about restlessness. Well, when you are purifying the vessel, you become more light. And a lot of times when you're in that process, you either oversleep, you're sleeping so much because you're getting energetic surgery on your body and you're purging, or your energy is so pure that you're like, oh my God, I can live off of like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. What is going on? You literally don't need sleep. You're like this pure light being that can be awake for hours and not need so much sleep. So when you're not sleeping, this is a sign that your vessel is purifying and you are elevated and you have so much energy and you're on the dance floor. And then it's just a matter of time before something drops in. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to get a desk calendar. This is what I have all of my mentorship clients do. We get a desk calendar. And we're jotting down the days we see angel numbers, how often we're seeing them. We're jotting down if we got good sleep that night or if we didn't sleep, or if somebody new came into our reality and offered to take us to lunch or to dinner, or maybe a new friend or an old friend from the past reaches out. You're documenting everything on this calendar so that when the $150,000 or the new person comes in, you can look back at that desk calendar and be like, wow, I see how the universe was letting me know that this manifestation was dropping in soon. And maybe for 3 weeks prior to it dropping in, you were seeing angel numbers. Maybe you weren't sleeping. Maybe you kept running into people from your past. So these are all indicators of manifestations and your life basically just getting better. So why not track it? Why not get excited about it? And then when you have anxiety or you're feeling like doubtful, like these manifestations are never going to arrive, you're going to look back at last month and remember, oh, wow, I remember for 3 weeks, I had to really wait for it. Or for 3 months, I had to really wait for it. I always say the bigger the drought, the bigger the drop in. So the more anxiety you have, the more joy you're going to feel because that's what the manifestation is bringing you. And yes, we have to feel it first. We have to step into the feeling state in our body, going there, holding the energy of it. And then we have to go there as much as we can throughout our days and weeks. And the longer you can hold that feeling in your body, that's when it can drop in because you're staying on that dance floor, you're staying high vibe. And meditation is a really, really great way to activate that nervous system to step into the feeling state. So normally we're so calloused over by life and what's going on and schedules and routines and people jumping into our phone. But when you start to push all of that aside and say, this is all a distraction. I don't want this person texting me. I don't have to respond. I just want to like turn off my phone and be by myself, go out in nature, frolic in nature, do whatever you love to do. That's all of a sudden allowing that vibration to get to a higher level of joy. Okay, your goal is to reach the highest level of joy without anything physical, without the money, without the person, without the job. You're just there because you're choosing to be there. And that's the mission. And when you can't sleep, it's because you're filled with so much joy and you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to live every single minute. I don't want to waste this time. I don't want to sleep. And a lot of times your ego will misconstrue that and it'll say, wait, we're not sleeping. Something's wrong with me. I'm sick. And then you create a story around the not sleeping, not realizing you're just filled with so much energy and it's okay. And you know that it's going to go in waves. And then at some point, you're going to hit a wall and you're going to need to take a nap. And maybe you'll sleep for 2 or 3 days, a little bit more than normal. And you're going to be like, okay, I can see how this was a roller coaster ride. I went from not sleeping at all to sleeping so much. And that's just a part of this journey. And journaling it and documenting it is good because it's going to teach you the next time this happens to not freak out and to not think that you're sick and to not think that something bad is going to happen. You're going to see the pattern of how your vessel gets prepared before something amazing drops in. Okay, let's pick another one. We're going to turn the page. Let's see. Okay, 82, divine appointments. So I always like to say the universe likes to take us on dates. So if somebody's jumping into your phone and asking you to go somewhere, this might be a divine appointment. You might be headed to a certain environment, and maybe it's not about the person that's taking you there, but maybe it's the environment. Maybe you're going to go to a restaurant in a certain town, and all of a sudden it's leading you to your next job that's going to drop in the next 3 weeks. So the universe starts to bring you to these divine appointments to get you familiar with the area. I went to lunch the other day with one of my friends, and he was telling me about how when he left his teaching job, his next job was in real estate. And the guy that he ended up working with, his office was across the street from the school that he was working at. That's a divine appointment. The universe knew he was going to be taking his next steps into real estate, and the universe planted him right across the street from his next job. So this is how the divine works through you and through other people in your life. It's moving you to certain environments to lead you to the next step. A similar thing happened to me, a little bit different, but similar. I bought my Jeep in a certain town in New Jersey, and 2 years later, I ended up working at a school in that same town. So it was like I was already being led to somewhere to get me familiar with it. And I like to call these divine appointments. And yes, it was 2 years before I took that leap and ended up in that city, but time doesn't exist, right? We are just always moving at the speed of spirit and the speed of our lessons and what we need to learn and where we are. And it's like we're always being moved. I just always say we're always being moved. So when you see this happening in your life, right? You start to see the divine appointments. You start to see how it was perfect that you met up with this person, that you were at this job for a short period of time. Everything is perfect. Even if you're getting a flat tire, that's a divine appointment. Okay. So trust that when things are happening, you might not know it's a divine appointment at the time, but it will make sense later. And I like to write down these moments where it's something odd that's happening. If I get a flat tire, if I get asked to go to lunch with somebody who I haven't seen in a while, I write this on my calendar and I put DA, divine appointment. It's spirit moving me to something new. And it might not make sense yet, but in 2 weeks, when something does happen, I want to look back at that divine appointment and go, oh my gosh, holy cow, 2 weeks, I was already led to that city, or I was led to that town, or whatever it is. And you can see the pattern, and it's just fun. And these are all indicators that something is on the way. So get excited. All right, let's do the third one. Here we go. 73, you have big bills to pay. So when your manifestation is about to drop in, there usually has to be some sort of energy going out, right? And sometimes it's like a freak out energy, like something comes in and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this bill? I can't afford it. Oh no. And usually this happens right before you're about to get double the amount of that money. So say you have a bill for $600 for something super unexpected. I always like to tell my clients, like, hey, get excited. You're about to get $1,200 within the month. So pay the bill, chill out, be fine. Say, universe, can you pay me back double, triple for this? I know you'll bring me the funds later. I have nothing to worry about. I have faith. So staying strong in that resilience, in that dedication, in that commitment to, I am not going to let this bill rock me. I trust that when a big bill comes in and something unexpected happens where I have to put out money, you're giving money to the universe. You're maybe helping somebody else pay their bills. Maybe the mechanic or the person that's going to work on the thing that broke, maybe they're struggling and you're a manifestation for them and they haven't had business in a while. And here you go calling, hey, can you come fix my roof? And that person's like, thank God, now I have money to pay my bills. So you can see it as a beautiful exchange of energy. The universe is using you to fill their cup up, and then eventually the universe will use somebody else to fill your cup up. So we cannot panic when we have big bills to pay, or it's like bill after bill, or accident, or breakage, or breakdown, whatever it is. You need to sit tight. Remember me saying this. Universe, you say it out loud. Universe, I am grateful to pay this bill. Could you please bring me the funds to do so? Or could you pay me back double for this bill? I would be so grateful. And you say it out loud. Anytime I spend money with my nieces and my nephews, maybe we go out to dinner, or maybe we go to Five Below or Target or any kind of fun store where they like to buy little things. And maybe I'll spend like $40. The minute we get in my Jeep, I tell them all, I'm like, all right, you guys, you know what we're doing. Angels and guides, can you please bring us double back for what we just spent? And I'll get home and that night my PayPal or my Venmo will blow up and it will be a client booking and it'll be like $200. So, and I always screenshot it and I send it to them so that they know that this works. So adopt these new habits for yourself. Don't panic when you have to spend money on something. You're actually giving to somebody else in some way, shape, or form. And you trust that if you're helping somebody else, then the universe is going to help you. We live in an abundant, friendly universe, and you have to remember that when things seem to be going to shit. Okay? Do not slip into the shitty thoughts, into the limiting beliefs, like everything's crumbling. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. This is you trying to learn the lesson of, am I going to beat myself up because a bill came in? This is not my fault. You know, maybe I manifested this so that I could have more faith. And thank you, higher self, for bringing me this opportunity to sit with this bill and to have faith that God's going to pay my bills. I have a video, I'll link it here, and it's called God Pays My Bills, because there is a science to it. You are asking the universe to step in and you're saying, universe, can you take this from me? I can't do it anymore. I can't pay this bill on my own. Can you please provide me the funds? And that's all your guides are wanting you to do. They want you to surrender. They want you to ask for help. They know that your ego thinks that you have to do it on your own. And your job is to step out of that mind and say, I'm a spirit. Why not use my gifts? Why not use my connection to source to help me move through this 3D reality? Okay, so have faith that these 3 signs are indicators that something's on the way. and you need to stay chill when a big bill comes in. We are going to be okay if we're not getting sleep, because that means we're purifying the vessel and we're feeling really, really good. And when we're receiving these divine appointments, we're jotting them down on our calendar and we're thanking the universe for bringing us to the environments or to the people beforehand. It's like these little glimmers, I like to call them, where we're getting a taste of what's to come. You know, maybe you're about to meet your soulmate or your twin flame or your special person, and you go on a date with a guy beforehand and you get a little taste of what it's like to be on a date again. And you're sitting at a restaurant and you're like, this feels so good. I don't know why, but I want to do this more. So your vibration has changed and you're open to going on dates. Well, this now is going to send a beacon out to your special person to say, hey, I'm ready. This feels good. I want to do this again, but I want to do this with you. And it calls that person, it magnetizes that person in, and your energy is saying, hey, it's time. Because I believe everything in our vortex and all the things that we're manifesting, I believe it's all a remembrance. I believe our soul is already signed up for it, and we're just remembering what we signed up for. And then it's like, oh, let's manifest this idea. Even though you think you're creating it, I believe it's already in us. And we're remembering the path and we're saying, okay, now I'm ready. Now it's time. And these divine appointments are letting you know that it's on the way. So get your desk calendars all set up, start tracking all of these signs, start to read into how spirit and your guides and the universe is speaking to you specifically. You are a special soul, and you have this loving universe who wants to bring you everything that you're thinking about right now. And you have to not be in panic mode and worry that you're doing something wrong. That is your ego. Your ego is messing with you, and it's shifting you out of that higher vibration that I want you to stay in. I want you to stay in joy. And sometimes you've been through so much in your childhood that you don't even know what that joy could possibly feel like. And certain people can activate that in us. And we have to go spend time with them because they fill our cup up and they're just what we need. And it's a reminder that we have access to that. You know, when you feel that joy, you're like, wow, I didn't think I could go there. How can I access that on my own with source energy? And to me, it's in nature. When I'm in nature, I can go to the highest joy possible. And it feels so good to not need food or people or money or anything tangible. It's just me being in the energy of spirit. So I highly recommend, if you're struggling with joy, get out in nature. You know, put high vibrational music on, do something to activate that inner child inside of you that just wants to dance, sing, and play. All right, lovies, if you want to work with me, I have so many opportunities. They're linked below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out.